Hello and welcome back to Leeds lately. Hopefully you can all hear me and see me. Let me know. Of course, it's been a few weeks since we've done a live stream. Of course, we had the Bournemouth live stream, but then I was away for the Spurs game, which I managed to catch most of on my phone. But that did mean that Leeds ended up losing the last time, but we haven't done a live stream for a good couple of weeks. So today, of course, we go up against Burnley, a side where we really need to be winning the game. We really, really do at this stage. Not even at this stage of the season, just in general, we have to be beating promotion rivals. Welcome, everybody who is joining me. Welcome, of course, to all of our Leeds Lately members. Welcome to Daz Payne, Karen Curtin, Ryan Tune as well, member for 5 months. Thanks so much for being a continuous member, Ryan. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining me. And thank you, of course, Chewy as well. And thank you, of course, to all of our non-members as well. Today, Leeds take on Burnley. Across the Pennines, and Leeds are hoping to get back to winning ways, although we are missing Noah Okafor, who looks like he's injured for around 10 days. But there is a worry today that with Harrison and Aronson starting, that Leeds are going to struggle in attacking areas. But what I will say is, let's give it 5-10 minutes into the game first before we cast any aspersions on what might happen. Welcome, Kim Hill, as well. Welcome, everybody who's joining me. So, as you can see on the screen now, this is the Burnley lineup. And I did a tactical preview earlier in the week talking about Burnley, the way Burnley play. And they play with a 5-4-1, 5 at the back. A lot of the time, their midfield four will be tucked in very narrow, so it's important that we get the ball out to the wings very quickly, whether that to be Goodmanson or Harrison or Bogle or Aronson, to get that ball out to the wing quickly to try and get Leeds up the pitch as fast as possible. There was a lot more information on that tactical preview than that. And if you do want to get a little bit of a tactical insight into each game we play, make sure you check out the tactical previews. They're out every Thursday before the games. But yes, so Burnley's lineup: Dubravka in goal, Walker, Hartman, Esteve, Twanzebe. Then you've got Brun Larsen, Ogochukwu. That's difficult. Anthony, of course, Jaden Anthony used to play for Leeds. Florentino, Fleming, and Josh Cullen. That is their lineup. Let's see what kind of happens when we kick off, but this is going to be our lineup. It's been so long, I forgot what button to press. Probably the one that says Teams. 4-3-3, as per usual for Leeds United. It is Darlow in goal. Bogle, Rodon, Strauch, and Goodmanson make up the back four. Ampadu in the holding role with Stack and Longstaff ahead of him. Aronson, I imagine, is going to be out on the right with Harrison, out on the left, and Calvert-Lewin up top. That's the way it's looking at the moment. I would imagine that's how we're going to start. Apparently, Ange Postecoglou's been sacked. I imagine just having your club be doing so well like Forest, and then it starts to go badly because the owner is crap and they've decided to sack a really good manager. Our bench for today is Perry, Justin, Biol, Bornau, Gruev, Tanaka. James is back on the bench, which is good to see. Mecha and Joel Piroux. Okay, that's our bench. But we are, 10 minutes away from kickoff here. Anyone got any score predictions? If you have, put them down in the comments below. Of course, we are desperately hoping that we can get a win today, because these are the games that you really, really have to be winning. You just have to be winning these games. Two 0 to the good guys. Yeah, we are away from home today at Burnley. I thought it was at home at first, but it is, away at Burnley. Turf Moor. The thing I think I talked about, I can't remember if it was I think it was my reaction actually after it was either my reaction after the Spurs game or it was I did a video about the season so far during the international break. And I was saying that Leeds keep conceding early, 1 goal early and 1 goal late in these games. And really, we need to just be cutting those out, because we seem to be playing well throughout the rest of the game, and we seem to have been pretty decent at scoring goals and coming back into games. But we shouldn't have to start with. We should always be in the game, and we shouldn't have gone behind. So hopefully Leeds can hold out early here, not concede early, get goals and get ahead. Turf Moor is one of the grounds I have been to when Leeds are in the Premier League, and it's an old ground. It's traditional. It's not too special, but it's not an intimidating ground to go to. I'll say that. So I just really hope Leeds can do well today. Really, really hope we can. Welcome everybody who is joining us. I'm not sure why that happens to you, Chewy, because I've never seen it happen to myself or anyone else. It's odd. Remember as well, the streams this month are sponsored by Match Bingo, which is essentially football bingo. So remember, of course, there is links down in the description down below to gamble responsibly, as well as the links to the actual sponsor to go and get yourself signed up today. Or you can scan the QR code on the screen with your phone. It works just like a game of normal bingo, as you can see on the right at the moment. Things like offside, corner, VAR, things like that. And if you line up a line, then that's when you could win. It just works like bingo. And make sure you go and check out the information in the description down below for this one. Players aren't quite heading out onto the pitch yet. Leeds currently sit in 15th position on 8 points. Burnley in 18th position on 4 points. Two teams split, Leeds and Burnley. That is Brentford and Nottingham Forest, who've just lost 3-0 at Chelsea. Leeds level on points with Fulham and only 1 point behind Newcastle, Brighton and Villa. So if we can get a victory today, that would really, really stand us in good stead to try and build a gap against that relegation zone. West Ham below Burnley on 4 points, Wolves below West Ham on 2 points as well. So it would be good for Leeds to try and climb the table a little bit and get away from that, really, really get away from that relegation zone at the moment. But looks like there's about 5 minutes left to go here. Currently, Arsenal sit top of the Premier League on 16 points, Liverpool on 15, Spurs 14, Chelsea 14, Bournemouth 14, Man City 13, Palace 12, Everton 11. It's only 7 games played, but Sunderland are 5 points off top. And if Leeds win today, of course, we'd go up to 11 points as well. So that would be really, really good for us to do, just to try and build a gap on that relegation zone. Welcome to everybody who's joining us, who wasn't here already. Hopefully, Leeds do a good job today. Just a woman taking a selfie with her baby there in the crowd. Normal. Just 5 minutes left to go here. Welcome everybody who is joining us. Welcome, of course, to all of our Leeds Lately members. Remember, all the information for the sponsor is either at the QR code or in the link in the description. Eddie Gray making an appearance at Turf Moor today, having a looking on to a game where Harry doesn't actually make the bench, Harry Gray, but he'll be hoping for a Leeds victory nonetheless. Four minutes then till kick-off here at Turf Moor. Leeds hoping for a big performance. I'm going to go back on it again just to make sure we are as close to live as possible. There we go. We can see some players in the tunnel. Anton Stach and Carl Darlow starting to make their way down the tunnel. It is freezing today. All the players are getting ready in the tunnel. Two ex-Newcastle goalkeepers face off against each other today. Dubravka, of course, in goal for Burnley, and Darlow in goal for Leeds, two of the second choice keepers to Nick Pope of the last few years, really. But yeah, let's see what kind of performances they put in today. There's the rest of the team: Ampadu, Darlow, Strauch, Stack, Rodon, Goodmanson, Longstaff, Bogle, Aronson, Harrison, and Calvert-Lewin down the tunnel there. Wouldn't it just be nice to just get out? There comes Kyle Walker. Wouldn't it be nice to just win this and just start to get away from those teams who would try to drag us back in here? A lot of people get very angry at football, Pierre, don't they? I don't like. I will get frustrated. I say that the angriest I get is disheartened. I'm just like, oh, like it just makes me. It doesn't make me angry. It never has. It makes me sad, but it doesn't make me angry. I don't get mad to shout or anything like that. I just kind of go, oh, that's us losing this game or whatever. But hopefully I don't have any reactions like that today, because Leeds are now taking the pitch here against Burnley. Shout out Tim, 7-month-long member. Thank you so much for continuing to support the channel. The cat's in her tree, Penny. I am calm, to be honest. I don't really get angry very often at all. Here's Calvert-Lewin joining the lineup, getting ready next to Harrison. It does feel a bit relegation season having Harrison and Aronson on opposite wings. Yeah, it's been a while since we've done a stream. It's been a while since we've done it. We've done a live stream for a game, and we are back. So I'm hoping that we can, of course, win this game. Players are now walking across each other, shaking hands and getting ready for this one. If you're new here, by the way, and you've realised that you can't put anything in the chat down below, make sure you hit that sub button. So Burnley's side then is Dubravka in goal. They've got on here that it's Walker, Twanzebe, Estev and Hartman actually in a bit of a back four, and they're going to be playing a 4-3-3. Ogochukwu, Cullen, and Florentino in the midfield three, and then up front, Brun Larson, Zian Fleming, and Jaden Anthony make up the front three. Lyle Foster injured on international duty, or actually just during the international break, so Fleming leads the line. Thanks, Liam. I didn't really have a holiday. We just kind of had to go down to Manchester. Darlow in goal, of course, for Leeds. Then you've got a back four of Bogle, Rodon, Strauch, and Goodmanson. Midfield three of Ampadu, Holding, then Longstaff and Stack beyond him. Then up front, of course, Aronson, Calvert-Lewin, and Jack Harrison make up the front three. Substitutes for Leeds: Lucas Perry, Dan James, Joel Piroux, Lucas Mecha, Biol, Tanaka, Bornau, Justin, and Gruev. Zian Fleming. Zian. Well, we are just seconds away from kickoff here. Let me get ready to press thy button. Obviously, the game's probably kicked off. But we are just a little bit behind because we're online here. I mean, it's 2 minutes past and it's not kicked off yet, so we must be a couple of minutes behind here. But then, to be fair, all TV footage is a little bit behind. Yeah, I just... we've signed him, and then we're just playing our championship back four. Sorry, not back four. Championship two central defenders. Sean Longstaff getting ready to take the kickoff then for Leeds. Bloody hell, it's a late start, isn't it? 3:03. Referee about to blow his whistle. It's just for this weekend, I think, Gareth. It's just to highlight the No Room for Racism campaign. Here is Strauch. Now Darlow. We are underway here, of course. Here's Jaden Bogle. Now Rodon. Of course, remember as well, please do not put it in the chat if a goal goes in at either end in this game. Here's Darlow. Now Rodon. Here's Stack, who's kind of dropped into left back at the moment, so Goodmanson can go higher. Darlow's going to send that one long under a little bit of pressure from Fleming. Good winner by Calvert-Lewin there. It means that Aronson's got a chance to run one-on-one at Twanzebe here. Aronson inside the box, looking for a passing option. Does really well to get the ball to Bogle. Bogle cross. It's going to be cleared away, I think, here. Bogle trying to close down. Leeds have just... thought we were just about going to win the ball back, but no, here's Jaden Anthony. That's going to be a Leeds throw-in over by the dugouts, and I really think that should have been a Burnley throw-in, and Jaden Anthony is saying so. Here's Rodon. Now, Burnley's sponsored by X/Twitter because they've just got a big X logo in the middle of the dugouts. Harrison drops that one back off to Strauch. Win probability 42% for Burnley, 31% for Leeds. I'm not sure where they get that from, really. Yes, they're at home, but We've got 8 points and they've got 4. Like, statistically, we are better at picking up points than they are this season. Bogle's cross blocked there, but drops to Ampadu. Here's Goodmanson now. Now Anton Stack, about halfway inside the Burnley half, gives the ball to Harrison. Drops it back off on the halfway line to Pascal Strauch. Cross now to the centre circle for Joe Rodon to give it into the feet of Brendan Aronson, whose touch is a little bit heavy. Tackled there by Florentino Luis. And now Jayden Anthony comes forward. Tackled, though, by Ethan Ampadu. Aronson, that's really weak. Really weak from Aronson as he just gets pushed off the ball. He should have just played a first-time pass back into Bogle, but now Burnley have possession again. Here's Cullen. Over to Hartman. Here's Twanzebe now. Back into Esteve. Good foot there by Aronson, but it is going to be a Burnley throw-in. Leeds are playing from right to left. Throw in here by Hartman. It's a good tackle there by Ampadu, but it does go for a throw-in. Rodon. Now Ampadu plays it all the way back to Darlow. It's a little bit of a push there by Kyle Walker, but it's not enough for a foul to be called, and now Twanzebe has it. All the way back to Dubravka. Here's Jayden Anthony coming forward down the left-hand side here. He scored a few goals this season, Jayden Anthony. I'd never rated him that highly when he was at Leeds. Ow. Poor ball forward there from Burnley, and now Harrison picks up the pieces. Still going forward here, Harrison. He's just run it into touch under not very much pressure there, Harrison. Unfortunately, Mime Flight, they are setting up in a slightly different way, probably because they have a bit more confidence that they can play against Leeds. But we could see them drop into that 5-4-1 because you'd see Kyle Walker drop into the back three. Is Ampadu. It was more the way he played that I didn't rate that much. Like, he seemed to slow things down, and a lot of the time what he would try didn't quite work. It was kind of my observation of him at the time. Here's Bogle. Now Aronson. Gets the ball back to Bogle here. That's going to be... No, apparently it didn't go out. I thought it was going to be a Leeds corner there, but no, the ball didn't go out of play. Eventually it's going to be a Burnley throw-in as Aronson blocks that Hartman clearance. Welcome everybody who's joining us. 0-0 at the moment. Neither side has particularly threatened anything on goal. But here is Ogochukwu as they come forward here. Here's Brun Larsen. Goodmanson just makes him play that back inside. Here's Florentino. Goes to shoot from way out and just drags it wide. Poor shot from him in the end. Yeah, it's a very poor shot, that, from Florentino. It's lazy, I think. Yeah, it's been Leeds' problem for so long, our ability to move the ball quickly. Here's Stack. Now Goodmanson. Darlow. Darlow plays a little long ball out towards Aronson, but it doesn't get there. But Leeds win it back. Here's Joe Rodon. Now Strauch. Strauch just having a little look there and plays the ball across to Rodon. Yeah, we were. That's what I noticed about that game, Pierre, as well. Is we just looked so much more lively. Good ball there from into Aronson inside the box, and now Stack's picked it back up again. Keeps it in. Oh, it's come off Florentino, and Florentino's able to come away with it. But a good tackle there by Leeds, and now here's Bogle. Bogle, I think that was a cross, but he tried to chip it into the box, and the goalkeeper's just able to kind of backpedal and catch it there. Here's Kyle Walker. Now Ampadu. Aronson. It's a little bit of like a dodgy passing going on from Leeds, and we keep giving the ball away. Here's Oguchukwu coming forward. That's going to be a foul by Anton Stack there, I think. Welcome back, Freshly. Yeah. It's Ampadu, I think, who has his hands around him a lot, Oguchukwu, as he's coming forward there. Stack eventually kind of bundles him over, but the foul was happening before that, and it's a free kick here to Burnley. I feel like there's a weird kind of like subcategory of footballer, right? And this is so niche, but I think I've noticed it before. And I couldn't even give you the example of who I've noticed it before with. But football player coming from a top club to kind of end his career at a lower club where he's the big fish in the small pond. And when he's never, ever been near free kicks before, suddenly wanting to be on set pieces. Kyle Walker stood over that free kick, and I was thinking, you've never taken a free kick in your life. And I feel like I've seen it before where players kind of come into a smaller club. Brun Larsen's free kick caught by Darlow, and then suddenly they think they'll be on free kick duty just because they're a big name. But that's not how it works if you're crap at free kicks. Longstaff with the ball forward. Cut out, though, but Harrison can pick that one back up after the deflection. Strauch with a switch over to Jayden Bogle. The thing is with Aronson, he's got himself in some good positions, but he's not necessarily done anything with it. So I wonder if somebody like Dan James would have done more in those positions with the ball that he's had. Here's Anton Stack here on the edge of the box. Now Longstaff. Aronson again. Aronson with the cross. Oh! Imagine that went in. Calvert-Lewin just tried a bicycle kick just past the penalty spot, kind of behind the penalty spot. It went over the bar, but it wasn't an awful effort. Yeah, it just hits his shin rather than his foot. Can you imagine if that went in? He gets himself in good positions, Aronson, but he never really does anything with it. Of course, he wouldn't be starting if Nonto and Dan James were both fit, and Okafor. Goodmanson heads that over the top ball away. His Stack. Now Bogle. Poor ball down the line. It's a little bit of like laziness creeping in, just like, oh, just knock that. Not like a proper aimed pass. Yeah, it's a foul by Rodon there and Ogochukwu, but it's just a foul. There's no card or anything. I know the moment you're thinking of, Mr. P, yeah. Because kind of passing it out wide and crossing it into the box is Hartman then with a long ball into the box, headed up by Joe Rodon, but not necessarily away. Away by Strauch now, but only to the edge of the box. Here's Jaden Anthony, Cullen. Over to Hartman again, who could try and redeliver, but Aronson, with a good block there, means that it's going to be a throw-in rather than a good crossing opportunity. It seems like a silly thing to do, Emmett. Why would we sell Strauch when we have no replacement and he is actually really not a bad footballer and does a good job for us? Here's Jaden Anthony. Good tackle there by Longstaff, and it's going to be a Leeds free kick. Is Bogle. Now Rodon. It's always kind of like ball forward there is cut out by Twanzebe. It's going to be a Leeds throw in, but it's always kind of, it feels too championshipy when you play against the other teams that got promoted with you. Do you get what I mean? Like, it just feels a bit like this is just a championship game from last season, so it's not as interesting. But, of course, the other side of that coin is we have to be winning. Sunderland 1-0 up against Wolves. I think Sunderland are going to be fine, aren't they? And look, we could, if we win today, we could easily start to join that little group that says we probably might be all right. Goodmanson tried to cross that one in, blocked there by Brun Larsen on the cover, and it is going to be a Leeds corner kick. Harrison's a completely different type of footballer to Okafor, isn't he? Harrison's very much like, if he's got space to run in behind, he will, and he'll try and put the ball in the box or whatever, but he never makes that space for himself on the ball. Longstaff then to take this corner kick. Ball into the box, punched away by the goalkeeper, only as far as Harrison. Oh, but Harrison's been dispossessed here by Jaden Anthony, and he's going to have to make a really good recovery run here, Harrison. He's chased Anthony all the way back. Good little foot there was just enough there, and now Harrison has to chase down Ogochukwu. Now Estev. Now Twanzebe. Kyle Walker. Ball out here to Ogochukwu on the right-hand side. I'm genuinely not that tired and haven't yawned all day until I started streaming, so it must be something to do with lack of oxygen to the brain, as we've discovered before. It's a corner here to Burnley, by the way. Corner kick here. Jaden Anthony then is going to be the one to take it for Burnley. Corner comes in. It's a really poor one and away by Calvert-Lewin. He must have spent some time at Leeds United, that Jaden Anthony, if he can't beat the first man. Yeah, I can't help it, CB. Like, I literally haven't yawned for the rest of the entire day today. But as soon as I'm on a live stream, because I'm talking so much, it just makes me yawn. I don't know. I can't. Like, I don't do it when I don't do it when I go on somebody else's live stream, like on a podcast or something, and I'm talking to somebody else, because I'm not talking the whole time. It's not just me. Is Brun Larsen then going to be taking this throw in here out on the right hand side? Looks like it might be. Oh no, he's giving it to Kyle Walker, so it looks like it might be a long one. Bloody hell, how far's he walking? Long throw in. Headed away by Strauch. Harrison just manages to keep that in. Keep it out from going out for a corner, but he sent it out for a throw in instead. So it's going to be another long throw in for Kyle Walker. This time he's thrown it shorter to Cullen, and now Kyle Walker goes for a cross. It's a great ball into the box, and it's 1-0 to Burnley. It's a really good ball into the box, and Ogachukwu is just there at the back post to head it in. What did I say before we started, by the way, about conceding early? The last, is it now 3 or 4 games we've gone 1-0 down and had to try and come back? Oh, it's right in between Strauch and Rodon. Neither of them picked it up. And is B-all there to head that, is all I'll say. It's a really good header and a really good cross, but the positioning's bad. Nobody closed Kyle Walker down enough to stop him. It was so obvious that they were going to do that. He threw the ball into Cullen, gave it him back, and crossed it straight in the box. Like, it's a simple 1-2 off a throw-in that you just got to be closer to. You really do. Here's Strauch. Now Goodmanson. Ampadu, sorry. Rodon. That's going to be a Leeds throw-in. Yeah, we just start to look thin on the ground after 1 or 2 injuries, don't we? Goodmanson. There's just no one close enough to him. Leeds have just tried to play a crossfield pass that got intercepted. Aronson doesn't even go for that ball. Here's Rodon. Darlow clears that one. You also can't really complain too much at Calvert-Lewin when he gets no service. Absolutely no service. Stack. Back to Strauch. Again, Leeds have given the ball away here. Switch of play by Burnley over to Hartman. Leeds trying to press here, but Burnley have bypassed it. It's a really good play in football by Burnley as they just completely bypass our press. Here's Fleming coming up towards the edge of the box. Goodmanson's done really well there and come in with a sliding challenge. Now Leeds can come forward. Here's Harrison. Harrison into Calvert-Lewin. Now Longstaff. Ampadu. That move there by Burnley is exactly how Leeds should be trying to play. It's Leeds are too careful and too slow on the ball. There was one touch pass in there to completely bypass the Leeds press from Burnley, and it nearly got them through on goal. Leeds are just too slow to do any of that. Calvert-Lewin are a really good little flick there. Here's Aronson. He's got Bogle on the overlap. Here is Bogle. Tries to play it across. It's cut out there by Burnley, but that was better from Leeds. Bogle's won that one. I thought he kept it in. I mean, I know that Strauch's got a lot of credit in the bank from last season, but you're buying an £18 million centre half and you're not playing him. And I don't think Strauch or Rodon either have been bad to the point where you say they definitely need replacing, but they're not the thing with Strauch and Rodon is they don't make overt, like Diego Llorente, Robin Koch horror errors like we saw under Bielsa in his final season, where they just like completely miss the ball or it bounces over them, and Strauch and Rodon don't make those kind of errors. They make the kind that are a little bit more subtle and harder to pick out for the average fan, because they are errors where they're just the positioning is wrong. They're not talking to each other. They're not quite in the right areas when a ball comes into the box like that last one. And I think we should be looking at bringing Be-All into the lineup. Because he's more solid. It doesn't necessarily matter about Strauch's passing ability. Be-All is a more solid defender. And then, of course, as well, you're looking at Darlow is playing in goal. And Darlow, I don't think he's doing a bad job at all, but Lucas Perry was signed from Lyon, who are playing Champions League football, and is highly rated by a lot of people over in France. And yes, Darlow's been playing well, but why can't Perry get back in the team? That's worrying. Thank you, Mr. P, so much for the super chat, £2 for a Leeds goal. Fingers crossed. Thank you, Mr. P, for that. I really appreciate that. Make sure everybody goes and likes that in the chat. Hi, John. Welcome. Member for 21 months. Thanks so much for continuing to support the channel. Here's Bogle. Bogle eventually fouled there, and it's going to be a Leeds free kick. Florentino pulling him down. Here's Rodon. Rodon again into Stack. Rodon with a long ball forward towards Calvert-Lewin. Kyle Walker's going to try and chase this one down. Plays it inside to Twanzebe, who clears only as far as Ampadu, who can give it back to Rodon. Everything always ends up going back to our centre-backs, doesn't it? We never really try to keep the momentum of anything going by trying to play forward. And sometimes I feel like there's not enough movement beyond... Like Ampadu looking there for a good 10 seconds or maybe 5 or 6 seconds at what he can do, and there's just no one moving for him, so he has to go back to the centre-backs. And then we go out to the full-backs, who come back into the centre-backs again. Here's Harrison. Hopefully he can change that as he comes forward here. Harrison out wide to Goodmanson. Harrison trying to get beyond him here, but Goodmanson with a good ball across the box. It's going to go to Bogle on the opposite wing. It was a little bit high for everybody that was in there. He's crossed there, blocked by Jayden Anthony, and it goes straight back to the Burnley players. And that's blocked by Aronson. It's going to be a throw in here to Burnley. Something's wrong. Something needs to change. If we can get a goal before half-time and go into the second half, basically 0-0 again, that's the ideal here. Or do what we do with do what we did to Wolves, where they went ahead and then we were 3-1 up by half time. It's a free kick. I didn't see what that was for, to be honest, but it's a free kick here to Burnley, and Dubravka's going to take it out on the left-hand side, essentially in the left-back position. Long ball forward from Dubravka, headed by Strauch. Aronson trying to tackle here, but here come Burnley. That is a fantastic interception there from Gabriel Goodmanson, because that was going right to Brun Larsen at the back post. Goodmanson tries to play that ball out wide to Harrison. Can he keep it in here? He does keep it in, but he's not quick enough to get there ahead of Kyle Walker. Oof, Dubravka's little pass there back to Walker was far enough. Ooh, Aronson clashed with Bogle there. There was a clash, but basically the ball was coming back, and I don't think there was much. It was between Bogle and Aronson, but I don't think there was that much contact. Probably hurts a bit, but just get up and play on. Here's Harrison. Tries to cross it in with his right foot, headed away. Now Goodmanson. Goodmanson into Longstaff, tries to get it back to Stack. Stack tries to... I mean, there's just a level of like, there's nothing on here, so I'm just going to kind of flick a leg at the ball. And it's happening a lot, and it's like... Yeah, it's like, what is this? Here's Esteve out to Hartman. Tries to play it in down the line here, but Rodon will be able to play that back to Darlow, who sends it up to the halfway line. That's going to be a throw into Leeds. That's the thing is, that's what is... When I said, I was like, oh, Harrison, I'd rather we get rid of him and brought somebody else in. But it seemed like Farke wanted to keep him. And I said, he doesn't suit our system at all, because Harrison, we barely cross the ball, and Harrison's whole game is crossing into the box that he's not even very good at. So what is he for? And how has he remained a Premier League player when people like Dan James didn't? He cannot cross a football, and that is his whole shtick. Good ball forward there from Darlow up towards Calvert-Lewin. Great header and great leap by Calvert-Lewin as Harrison comes forward here. Now Goodmanson. Goodmanson goes to cross it in, but it's deflected and it just bounces through to Dubravka. We're not even getting the look of balls just going out for a corner at the moment. Kyle Walker plays the ball down the line here. It's Florentino. Leeds putting a bit of pressure on, but apparently too much pressure because it's a foul by Anton Stack. Here's Harrison, who's picked the ball up here. Now Aronson inside the box! He's hit the post! Aronson slotted the ball underneath Dubravka, but Dubravka just got enough on it and it hit the post and bounced away. It's a really good save. Good bit of football by Leeds. Harrison, I thought, should have played it into Calvert-Lewin, but he plays it into Aronson, whose ball is going underneath Dubravka. But I mean, look, I think, do you know what? I don't think that's that fantastic of a save because it's straight at him. Long throw in comes into the box. Aronson gets done there for a two-handed push in the back of a Burnley player, and now it's a free kick to Burnley. I think if Dubravka had conceded that, you'd be saying it was really poor goalkeeping because Aronson's shot was straight at him and it went under him. He's just lucky that he got a touch on it. It was not a great, yeah, that's correct, Nick. Both of them are not good enough to be our starting wingers. To be honest, I'm not sure what to do with either of them because neither of them are effective in any way. I don't know. It's like they see that the goalkeeper is the target, isn't it, CB? And they're aiming straight for him. Do you know, I honestly think it gets to the point where when Harrison was in that position then, he had a chance to pass the ball to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin would have been in a worse spot, but is a better finisher than Aronson in a really good spot who cannot finish to save his life. It's like I would honestly sometimes consider picking a worse opportunity for a better finisher than a really gilt-edged opportunity. What are we waiting for here? The referee seems to be listening to something through his headset. Check on possible violent conduct. I don't know what that was about. I hope so, Daz. When I'm critical of players and their ability, I always hope they prove me wrong because they're Leeds players, so I want them to do well. Good ball into the box there, but well collected by Darlow. Rolled out there to Goodmanson, who can bring that one forward. Here he is, Goodmanson. Now Harrison. Aronson here. It's supposedly Lucas Metcher can play on the wing as well. Good ball there from Strauch into Goodmanson, who tries to cross the ball into the box, goes past everyone, and here's Bogle, goes to shoot. It's going to be a Leeds corner kick. Corner kick then. Bournemouth 2 up against Palace. Ball into the box here from the corner. Hits the first man, but it's going to be another corner and another opportunity for Longstaff not to do that again. Here's Longstaff. It's a better ball into the box there. It's headed straight up in the air, punched away, but only as far as Longstaff. Longstaff with a ball towards Stack, but it just goes out for a goal kick. Yeah, it's not pleasant watching this, is it? I didn't. That was that supposed hint of violent conduct, but I didn't see anything there. Strauch loses that header, but Goodmanson picks it up on the other side. Here's Goodmanson still. Dropped off to Harrison. See, Harrison should have gone with that out to the wing there, but instead, when you're coming back inside, you're coming into traffic and you're having to play it to the defenders again. There's no good making a run forward now. There's no room now. Ampadu out wide to Goodmanson. Here is Goodmanson. Tries to cross the ball into the box, headed away. Ogochukwu here. Trying to get rid of that one. Here's Anton Stack. Heads it back now to Strauch. Strauch goes all the way back to Darlow. Darlow with a little bit of a dodgy pass there that eventually makes it to Bogle, even though it got a touch by Jadon Anthony. They're a good side, Bournemouth, and we were unlucky not to get a draw against them. Sorry, did we draw against them or did we lose? We're unlucky not to win against them. They got that equaliser late on, didn't they? So why are we able to play so well against Bournemouth and just be really poor here against Burnley? If we play like this against other sides, we get slaughtered. It's like they say that people raise their game for big matches. Well, we've actually dropped our game because it's an easier game. Almost seems to be the thing here. Here's Strauch. Now Goodmanson. He's got Harrison going on beyond him. Harrison tries to cross it. I think that's actually going to be a throw-in and not a corner. We've got Dan James on the bench, which is the one thing that I'm seeing a little bit of kind of positivity in. But as much as Dan James has been good for us in the Championship, he's not a world beater, is he? He's not bringing on someone unbelievable who's going to score a load of goals for you. Ampadu then's going to go for a long throw-in. Referee's blown his whistle for some pushing and shoving. Twanzebe and Stack, a bit of pushing and shoving, I think. Ampadu throws that one into the box. Aronson heads it back towards goal. Calvert-Lewin tries to get on the end of it but can't. Aronson does really well here to head that ball to himself to cross it back in. Crossed into the box and then just away here, but Harrison's cross is poor and it's going to be another throw into Leeds. Here's Harrison. Walker's trying to clear that. Ampadu's going to have to deal with that on the halfway line, which completely loses all of our progress from that area. Here's Strauch. Now Harrison. Stack nearly with a really good turn there. Burnley just trying to play out of danger here. Poor ball forward there from Esteve, and Leeds now have possession back. If we can just nick one against the run of play, like we've had a lot of the ball, but we just haven't really done anything with it. So if we can just nick one before half time, whilst not playing particularly well, hopefully that helps us out. That's got to be a free kick, ref. He's literally just tripped Bogle over, and like maybe Bogle went down a bit theatrically, but he tripped him. So that's a foul and a free kick in a good crossing position. Ampadu. Bogle. Bogle getting booed by Burnley fans. What's the history there? Here's Goodmanson. It's just poor. We just keep giving the ball away. Here's Ogachukwu. It's going to be a free kick to Leeds, I think. Oh, yeah, it was what Fleming did to Strauch there. He just pulled him back. Strauch did well to get in the way, and then Fleming just kind of pulled his shoulder. Pulled him from his trapezoid. Here is Ethan Ampadu. Now Strauch. Goodmanson. Strauch again. Here's Harrison with the ball down the line here to Goodmanson, but Goodmanson wasn't even watching and someone just came and nicked it off him. But it is a Leeds throw-in. Goodmanson, back to Bogle. Come on, Leeds. We've got to be better than this if we're going to be a Premier League side. I was expecting big things today. Why would he be unbearable at the moment, though? Because Leeds are in the Premier League and Borough are in the Championship. So what's he got to say anything about? Goodmanson there, fouled right on the edge of the box. Chance for Anton Stack to do what he did against Wolves, maybe. Free kick opportunity there for Leeds. Just on the edge of the box. I mean, after his last one, what he put in the top corner against Wolves, you've got to let Anton Stack have a go at this. I don't think Harrison should be anywhere near this. But Anton Stack's not really in a good position to shoot. Stack shoots! Good save by the goalkeeper. At least he's getting his free kicks on target. There's always the chance of drop downs, isn't there? Deflections go into a Leeds player. Rodon. Stack that was. 1 minute added on. Fleming's just ducked under that and it's going to go out for a goal kick. 1 minute added on, by the way. I need to make sure I've got this up so I can add. I mean, it's not even going to load. Oh, half time. Yeah, sorry, the internet went for a second then. Half time. I'm just going to go and feed the cat, and I'll be back very, very shortly to discuss the dreadfully boring goings on of that first half. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back in like just a couple of minutes, even if that. So. Hello. Let's have a look. Yeah, this is the problem though. Can we actually spend in January? Because I don't know. I don't think we can. I think we've got like 5 or 6 million left within our thing, and that's it, unless we get loans in. So we couldn't afford to bring in somebody like Hamer. That's what I see it as at the moment. Excuse me. I don't think we can. But it's not that bad if Okafor, Nonto, and James are available. It's not that bad, really. Of course, James is back. Just watching the goals back from the Spurs game. Yeah, it's just Mecha is the no. Well, we've got Piru as well, but Mecha can also play on the wing as well. So yeah, you know what? Like in times where you need someone to be a bit more physical and then cut inside and essentially be a second striker, I don't think I would mind having Mecha on to cut inside and essentially be a second striker to help out with what's his face, Calvert-Lewin. I just don't think that's. I don't know. Yeah, it is a little bit worrying, isn't it? But this is the reason why they talk about that gap between the Premier League and the Championship. Is that you actually come up and there's only a certain amount that you can spend unless you've got some really big sellable assets. If we'd have gone up the season before and then sold Archie for however much to Spurs and Jorginho for however much to Brighton, then we would have been able to finance a much, much bigger transfer window in the Premier League. That gap was plugged by Bielsa making the squad perform so much better than it had any right to. It was about that that abilities for our players to play beyond their means. And you know what as well? It's always when a manager comes with a new style / new philosophy, it takes a season a lot of the time for people to figure that out. And the same thing happened when Sheffield United came up and they had overlapping. They played with the back three and they had overlapping centre backs, and they got a high finish as well in their first season up with Chris Wilder. And it's there's a combination of a couple of things that happened at that time, and that was a bit of an anomaly. We can't spend on a striker in January. We can't. We don't have the ability to do that because of PSR. But we can't, though, because we'll go down the next season. You couldn't cross for the Toffees either. Hey. And we'd have to sell before we spend. But that's the issue. We haven't got any sellable assets that are worth anything. We really haven't. I'd love to see Dan James come on in this game and do something, but it might be more. It's Leeds, isn't it? So it might be more than a 2-point deduction. Everybody hates us. They seem to arbitrarily choose how many points to deduct off people. Yeah, but Farke doesn't want to sell Peru, although he doesn't seem to want to use him either. But the thing is that Peru's our top scorer last season. He doesn't seem to be getting a look in. I also don't think it's necessarily... I don't think it's necessarily that it's Calvert-Lewin should be playing in every game based on who we're playing against. I think that is a little bit negative, John. Look, as it stands, we're still ahead of Burnley. But it's just, you've got to be winning these games. 8 points after 7 games is not bad, by the way. 8 points after 8 games. A point a game is probably just enough to keep you up. So if you only win 1 in every 3, you stay up. But it's just that we don't look like scoring. Yeah, you've got to be looking at these games and thinking that this should be 3 points. Yeah, Burnley don't. Like, since they've scored, you can barely... They've just sat back, really. And you know what? They've allowed us to have the ball because they know that we aren't going to do much with it. Remember as well, guys, that this stream is sponsored by Match Bingo. To find out more about Match Bingo, which is essentially playing bingo but with football, as you can see down there, each card has 15 teams, and your team score, they turn purple, and basically match a full line or row or a full house to win. Of course, though, gamble responsibly, but it is just like bingo, but for football. But it is linked down in the description down below, or use the QR code on screen, or and make sure you gamble responsibly, and there is a gamble responsibly link in the description down below as well. Thanks so much, Chewy, for the 5 gifted memberships. I really, really appreciate that. Thanks so much for that. And Chewy has given that to 5 people who will now have a membership for a month. Peacock Whites, Ricky Jensen, Arden, Texas Leeds, and Gregory Morris are all now honorary Leeds Lately members. Oh, my timer is still going. Thank you, Shelley. Timer stop. And then if we go on here, we should be able to reset and then press second half. There we go. Thanks for pointing that out. I didn't notice, and I wouldn't have noticed until the second half started. Looks like the Burnley players are getting ready to come out for the second half here. She didn't even cheer. The announcer just went, "Welcome out for the second half, Burnley!" And no single person in the crowd cheered. Details to score from a header from his own half. Oh, look, Leeds players are heading out back onto the pitch now. It should be off any time soon now. Any minute we'll be kicking off. Aronson comes back out for the second half, which I could have done with seeing Dan James there to cheer me up a little bit, but yeah, I mean, we had that gilt edge opportunity for Aronson should have scored that, and I think Dan James probably would have scored it, where it just dropped off right in front of him. Would maybe like to see a bit of Metcha later on in this game as well. He's obviously scored on his debut, but then hasn't really had a chance to do anything since. Just about to start here then for the second half. We are underway here. There we go. I tell you what, I forgot to set a super chat goal. Here is Esteve with the ball now. Hartman. Here's Esteve again, playing it to Dubravka. Out wide now to Twanzebe. He tries to switch that ball out wide to Hartman and does manage to. Back inside to Ogachukwu. Good tackle there by Ampadu, but the ball is... There's a cat disrupting the light then. Here we are, Luna the Copcat's back. My headphones are caught on my keyboard. Here is Kyle Walker. Inside to Ogachukwu. Ball down the line here. Brun Larsen. Gets it back again. Now Ogachukwu again. Tries to play the ball into the box, cleared by Strauch. What are you looking at? It's going to be a Leeds throw in there, I think. Yeah. Here's Goodmanson then with the throw in. Goodmanson does well there to keep the ball. Now Harrison. Harrison into Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin with a little switch to Bogle. Bogle's aimless pass there, really, but... Oh, how is that not given as a foul? Oh, thank God it finally is. Oh, now he's saying it's a rolling ball. Stop. Stop it. She keeps trying to make biscuits on the little light that lights up the green screen. God's sake. So you might see some flashing behind me because she's blocking the light. Here's Goodmanson. Now Stack. Harrison. Harrison, good ball into the box. Headed away by Twanzebe there. Hasn't gone very far, though. Stack tries to get it into Longstaff. Oh, Aronson tries to poke it past Hartman, but Hartman's clearance only goes as far as Rodon, who passes it into Longstaff, but who eventually gets cleared. Like, Jesus Christ. Stop doing that, okay? Here's Rodon. Now Stack. Goodmanson. Lost the ball there, Goodmanson. Fleming tries to get it back to Kyle Walker on the wing. Kyle Walker's gone down very easily there. A little bit livelier, yeah, but it's just... Oh, Aronson picks off that ball there, and here comes Aronson. Leeds come forward now. Ball into Calvert-Lewin. And that's going to be I thought that was going to be a Leeds throw-in. Calvert-Lewin had to make a sliding challenge there on a Stev, but it went out for a throw-in to Burnley somehow. I did see that, yeah, White Swan. Feathers McGraw. Here's Fleming. He's ran that straight out for a Leeds throw in here. Strout goes all the way back to Darlow. Rodon. Bogle. Touch there by Ampadu, takes it into the sidelines, and it's going to be a throw-in. We were poor in the first half, very slow, very lethargic. Here's Walker, out wide now to Brun Larson, who's played it back to Walker, who's going to have to go all the way back to the goalkeeper here. Here's his Stev as Longstaff's chasing him down. Only as far as Rodon, who's not sure where that ball went in the end, but it is going to be a throw into Leeds when it shouldn't have been. I can see why Jade Anthony's getting frustrated. Yeah, Jaden Anthony getting a yellow card there. Just as a PSA, by the way, it is Jadon Anthony, Jaden Bogle. There we go. Here is Darlow out to Strauch. Now Ampadu. Bogle. Strauch. Not Jordan Bagel. Baden Jogle. What did we call him last season? Headed away by Hartman. Here's Jaden Anthony. Good ball from him to Okachukwu down the left-hand side here. Rodon's across on the cover. Forces them to go backwards here. Here's Cullen. Walker out wide. Thanks, Tim. Really appreciate that you ordered one. It really helps keep me going at the moment. Glad you enjoyed them. Or that your son enjoyed them. Ball kicked into touch there by a Leeds player because Brun Larsen is down. Not sure what's happening here. Leeds shouldn't really kick the ball out, should have carried on playing. We don't need sportsmanship in that situation. Yeah, he went down off the ball. I'd like to see Leeds make some subs at some point soon. I'd like to see a bit of Metcha. Why are you lying on my light? There you go. You can lie next to it, but not on it. Brun Larsen is still on the sideline here. You're just going to have to sit on my knee then, aren't you, if you're going to be naughty like that? Here is Anton Stack. Now Pascal Strauch across to Joe Rodon. Here's Goodmanson trying to cross a ball into the box, cleared away by Twanzebe. Oh, that little flick by Fleming just took it away from Ampadu. Now Joe Rodon. Jaden Bogle. Oh, Bogle just loses the ball there. Oh, Leeds have won it back though. Hartman couldn't get on the end of that. Now Aronson tries to play it in. Cleared away. Another throw in for Leeds. Bogle tries to play it to Aronson, but they keep giving us the ball back. Here's Aronson. He's nutmegs Florentino. Ball into the box, cleared away. Really good bit of play by Aronson then. That's what you want to see from him. Here's Ampadu now. Stack. Wasn't a great ball from him, and now they can come forward here. Cut out by Joe Rodon. Now Anton Stack has the ball. Here's Goodmanson on the left. Here's Anton Stack. Good ball into Calvert-Lewin. He didn't really look before he passed it there, Calvert-Lewin. Did I have Haaland as my captain on FPL? I had him as vice-captain. I had Salah as captain. Well, I didn't change it. How annoying. Now Ogachukwu with the ball. Oh, intercepted there by Anton Stack. But just Twanzebe gets on the end of it. Again, Leeds keep putting in tackles and winning the ball back here. Put your tail down, cat. Kyle Walker with a clearance. Again, they play a poor pass and Leeds have got the ball back here. Some subs then for Burnley. Chowna is coming on for Brun Larsen, who obviously picked up an injury before. If Tanaka comes on for anyone, I would imagine it would be Longstaff, not Ampadu. Here's Bogle. Now Longstaff. Strauch. Out wide to Goodmanson. Now Longstaff. Little chipped ball forward to Calvert-Lewin. Harrison manages to get it back in the box there, but it's going to be cleared away here by Kyle Walker. Only as far as Ampadu, who takes that down on his thigh and now looks forward once again. Here is Longstaff. Longstaff with the ball in towards... Harrison hit it full on the volley and bounced over the bar. I think he could have took a touch. I don't know what you guys think, but I think Harrison could have taken a touch there. If he'd have blasted that in, amazing, but I think he had chance to just take a touch. Yeah. Yeah, I think he could have done better with that. I really do. Leeds win the ball back again. Now Stack forward towards Aronson. Aronson's doing really well there to get the ball to Longstaff. Longstaff with the ball forward here. Harrison can't get there, but Goodmanson can. Goodmanson got Stack inside. Now dropped back off to Strauch. Aronson. Ampadu. Now Longstaff over on the right. Gives it back into Rodon. Strauch. He can play it into Goodmanson's feet here, but instead he goes to Harrison. Oh, apparently that's a foul to Burnley there. Free kick against Leeds. Absolutely no chance. Haaland at the double. I had him as captain the other week, but I changed to Salah because they were playing against someone worse than who Man City were playing against. How annoying. As in drunk, William, or angry? Because the American version of that word means angry, but in English that means you're drunk. Here's Chowner. He might be coming to Leeds in January, CB, for a meal or something. Here's Jadon Anthony trying to cross the ball into the box, headed away by Ampadu at the front post. Cullen. Florentino, again picked up by Leeds. Goodmanson here, sent backwards there by Kyle Walker. Harrison. Ampadu. Now Ampadu. Strauch. Strauch. Into Anton Stack. Now Strauch again out wide to Jack Harrison. Harrison goes to cross it in the box and he's going to win Leeds a corner kick. Daniel James and Metch are warming up, getting ready. Corner then for Leeds. I think the ball might be a bit flat here, you know. Oh, no, he's not. He's checking whether it's in the actual corner thing or not. Longstaff then with the corner. Ball comes into the box. Headed back across. To the edge. Harrison hoofs it into the crowd. Right. Just sit there or something. Dubravka then with the goal kick. Flicked on there by Anthony, headed away by Strauch. Now Goodmanson. Ball down the line. That's away by Twanzebe. Couldn't think of his name then. Now Goodmanson. Dan James and Metch are getting warmed up there. Harrison is left-footed, yes. Here's Joe Rodon. Feet of Ampadu now. Out wide by Jack Harrison. He's done well there, Goodmanson. But that's going to be a Leeds. A Leeds corner kick. I think it. Oh no, it's a throw in, it looks like. But Leeds are going to make some substitutions now. Aronson off. For James. And Metcher comes on as well for Harrison. So it is what I said, actually, that he'll come out on the wing. That's as it stands, that's the lineup. Ball comes into the box, headed away. Only as far as Ampadu, though, again. Ampadu, crossed in by Goodmanson, and Metcher got on the end of it, but easy catch there for Dubravka. Yeah, you can't ever generate any power on that Metcher there. The thing is, with Tanaka's not a game changer, is he? He's a safe midfielder who maintains possession, and I'm not sure that is applicable in a game like this. It's not what we need, really. He's not a marauding box-to-box midfielder, really, is he? That'll go and get you a goal or get you an assist or something. Here's Goodmanson. Stack. Now Strauch. Longstaff. Now Dan James. Back to Longstaff again. Joe Rodon. Strauch. Strauch played the ball out there, but Kyle Walker is going to go past Strauch here. Nowhere near fast enough Strauch to get back. Kyle Walker waiting for help. Drops it back off here to Cullen. Florentino. Cullen. Back to Florentino again. Now, the shot from... That's a joke. Chowner has just absolutely smashed it in the top corner from about 25, 30 yards out. He's just absolutely belted it in the top corner. It's so crap, isn't it? You push him for a goal, you just leave him to have a shot from 25 yards out and he just bangs it in the top corner. Why is no one closing him down? It's Ampadu's job to go and close him down there, and he just doesn't. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Really good goal, of course, but like, it's the defending again. I'm not saying that Yacobiol would have done anything about that goal, but Ampadu should have done better. He should have been closer to the ball. Stroke. Now Goodmanson coming inside. Back to Ampadu. Goodmanson again. Strouk. Across the road on. Here's Dan James. Dan James trying to get the ball across. Away by Burnley though. Here is Chowner, the second goal scorer. Done well there, Ampadu, to win the ball back. Dan James can get on the end of that. Can he cross it? Dan James crosses it. Header away. And then cleared by Burnley. Here's Bogle. I think Longstaff just took one in the nuts there from that clearance. Rodon. Good ball out wide here to Dan James. Dan James has already looked livelier than Aronson. Good ball into the box by... Oh, that's it. Oh my God, how... Jayden Bogle's missed from a centimetre off the line. That absolutely sums us up. Dan James drops it back off. Longstaff curled ball in towards the back post. Calvert-Lewin gets a header on it and then... Oh, I think it's a really good save. And I think they've given a goal kick. I don't know. Bogle goes for it. No, he doesn't. He just flicks it over the crossbar there, Bogle. That should have been a goal. We should have been 2-1 there. Now Dubravka's conveniently gone down with an injury. What a joke. Well, it was a really good goal, but we've got to defend better. We've got to be closing that down for a start. Really, really poor. You just let him out. They just let him have the run of it, didn't they? And let him shoot. Well, Joel Piroux is now going to come on for Anton Stack. Not sure where that leaves our midfield, though, particularly. Piroux comes on then. Calvert-Lewin goes for that header, but it's away by a step. Bogle forward once again. Eventually the ball ends up with Strauch and now Rodon. Here's Ampadu. We just look clueless. We just look like we don't know where to pass the ball. It's always the one before and the one after an international break where we don't... I mean, actually, no, not the one before. The one after an international break where we always just play terribly. Goodmanson, gone past his man. Crossed into the box there from Goodmanson. Bogle with great ball back in. Now Rodon. Back out wide to Goodmanson again. That's deflected by Anthony, but now Strauch picks it up. Rodon. Now his pass to Longstaff is poor there. That's going to be a throw into Burnley. Looks like they're going to make another sub here, Burnley. Longstaff plays that one all the way back to Darlow, his ex-Newcastle teammate. Ball forward from Rodon, cut out there. But Leeds win it back, though, and then give it away instantly. There's a tendency when you get promoted in the Championship to really like the team that you've got and really kind of like the players. And when you get promoted, you're a bit like, oh, I don't really want to... Like, I don't really want to replace any of these players because of the sentimental value of getting promoted and stuff. But now, just shocking touch there by Metcher. It just rolls straight through to the goalkeeper when it could have been a chance for a goal. Just watching Leeds for a few games in the Premier League, and you just feel, again, just replace them all. Get better players in. So I think it's Lyle Foster coming on for Zian Fleming. Viol's got to get some game time at some point, hasn't he? Like, what? Sorry, not Lyle Foster, Josh Laurent. Ampadu. Leeds players just playing the ball into touch now for fun. Burnley and West Ham should be games that we're getting points out of. He's Bogle. Last 10 minutes, Leeds have had 83% possession, but the problem is we don't do anything with it. Here's Bogle. Into Calvert-Lewin, back into Joel Pirou. pokes it across the box, and there's just nobody there to get on the end of these things. Joe Rodon, good touch, brings it down to Strauch. But they've also got championship players, Burnley. They had a similar transfer window to us. Oh, Jesus, Longstaff. That was a shocking touch. Here's Ampadu. Now Strauch. Goodmanson. Ball into the box. Head by Piru. Dan James. Can he keep that one in? He can. As it went right across the face of goal and then across to the other side. Then Dan James with a cross into the box. Strauch heads it back across and then cleared away by a Burnley boot. Here's Rodon. Yeah, look, we could have up to 15 minutes left. It's enough to score a couple of goals. We don't look like doing it. And we've had the chances, by the way, as well today. We just can't finish them. The one where Aronson hit the post. The one where Bogle skied it from a yard out. Oh, that's a good ball in. Ampadu, shocking shot there. Headed away by Kyle Walker. Only as far as Jayden Bogle. Over the bar again there by Leeds. Yeah, Metcher maybe should have... He got a header on that from Goodmanson's cross. Just should have got over it. Ampadu is off. And that means that Tanaka is on. What number is Tanaka? 22 or... Yeah, 22. Looks like they're going to bring on Hannibal as well and Ashley Barnes. Ashley Barnes. $500. I know, but it doesn't mean it. All that possession, all those touches in their box, all of it doesn't mean anything if you don't score. Metcher, Calvert-Lewin, Tanaka. Over Metcher's head and straight into touch. Poor pass there by Tanaka. Happy birthday, William. This is probably not the gift you wanted. 1 second, I'm just getting a phone call. I just need to answer it. And again, that was just going to be a goal kick there to Burnley. They're getting ready to bring those two substitutes on. Ogachukwu is going to come off. Unmarked for his goal. Completely unmarked. Jaden Anthony going off as well. I hate Ashley Barnes. We should not be 2-0 down against Burnley. It's sloppy defending and poor finishing. Goodmanson's done well to get away from Hannibal there. Longstaff into Piru. Piru's put a ball forward for Dan James. Headed away by Dubravka. Tanaka can win that one back and give it to Bogle. Here's Tanaka again. Tanaka goes to cross one into the box. Just booted away by Burnley. Here's Darlow now. Rodon. Turn there by Longstaff, and now Dan James is going to win Leeds a throw in. Tanaka then with a... Well, he was going to take a throw in. What's going on? Why is the referee not allowing him to? Tanaka might not even have a long throw in. Everyone's backing off. Oh, it is quite a long throw in from Tanaka, to be fair. Strauch tries to shoot. Tanaka tries to put it back into the box. It just bounces straight through to Dubravka. Sums us up. Really does sum us up today. Oh, look. A Burnley player's going down pretending to be injured. As a surprise. Long ball by Dubravka. Headed away by Strauch. And again by Strauch. That's going to go all the way through to Darlow, who just hoofs it into touch. Goodmanson throws it into Strauch. Now Rodon. Bogle. Remember, guys, for next time or for even the rest of this weekend, you can use the QR code on the right-hand side to choose which teams you want to score a goal, etc., or get a card or VAR or whatever those things. Sign up to Match Bingo in the link in the description is our sponsor for today's stream. Here's Gabriel Goodmanson. Chance to put the ball in the box. Piru, it's behind him and he just puts it over the bar. Shocking. But remember, gamble responsibly, and there is a link in the description down below for Gamble Responsibly as well as the sponsor itself. Goodmanson puts the ball in there and it's behind Piru and he just chunks it wide. Goodmanson, I think, again, has had a really good game. He's done all he can to give Leeds a chance to score. He's put so many balls into the box. Last 10 minutes, Leeds have had 89% possession. Chowner now crosses the ball into the box. Ashley Barnes definitely pushed Strauch there, and it's going to be a Leeds free kick. Here's Rodon. Now Dan James. Ball down the line here to Joel Piroux. Good ball by Piroux back into Dan James. James with the ball into the box. He's being held back there, Metcher, but nothing given. Bogle wins that header. Here's Calvert-Lewin. Joel Piroux. Now Strauch. So there's a thought about Strauch having a shot there. And that sums today up. Shocking cross by Goodmanson. Just so poor today. And you know what? So poor. We have had chances, though. We have had chances. But we cannot finish them off. Long ball forward here from Dubravka. It's going to be a Leeds throw-in. Here's Rodon. Bogle. Now Dan James. Dan James crosses it into the box. Piroux, Metcher. Oh, everybody's missed it. And they're able to just... Kyle Walker's able to just watch it roll across him and clear it as far as he can kick the football. Throw into Darlow that I think Darlow is going to take here. No, he's not going to give it to Rodon. Is Rodon. Now Strauch. Goodmanson. Let's hope we can try and make Elland Road a bit of a free kick to Leeds. Let's hope we can try and make Elland Road a bit of a fortress this season. 7 added minutes, by the way. Dan James crossed into the box there, but that's going to be a corner to Leeds. Hopefully Leeds can score one now, and then you've got 6 minutes to score another. Can you imagine if we level this up? It would mean a massive point for us, considering where we are. 2-0 down, away at Burnley. Longstaff then with the corner kick. Ball comes into the box. Headed! Oh, straight at Darlow. Rodon again getting on the end of a header. He did it in the international break. Straight at Dubravka, not Darlow. The fact that it's 2 ex-Newcastle goalkeepers, both starting in the letter D, is so confusing for my brain whilst I'm trying to say which goalkeeper has the ball. Darlow. Pascal Strauch now. Tackled by Hannibal. What's Hannibal doing? What's he doing? What a knobhead. Honestly. He's got himself a yellow card. He literally just made a normal slide tackle and then started screaming in Goodmanson's face. Goodmanson got up like, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't understand that. Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? What a knob. Not literally no reason. The most harmless player in Leeds' lineup, Goodmanson, who's literally never got into any beef with anyone. Oh, that's a shocking pass from Tanaka. Now Cullen, as they try and play forward here to Ashley Barnes. Cullen tries to play it out wide again. Bogle cuts it out. Dan James wins that back, but it's a throw-in. It's going to be a free kick to Leeds. Potential head injury there for Bogle, apparently. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he went down for a second holding his head, but like, it would be so good if Hannibal got sent off after only being on for like 2 minutes, but they're all just kind of pushing and shoving each other now. Frustrations creeping in from Leeds. Yeah, because he's diving and falling on the ball and being a proper little Ashley Barnes. There's got to be some time added on to this 7 minutes as well. I can hear some of the choice words that Joe Rodon is saying to Josh Cullen at this moment, telling him he's not very good at football in some different words. Here's Longstaff. Now Goodmanson. Longstaff. Good turn. Now Goodmanson. Shocking pass. Piru intercepts that. That's going to be a throw into Leeds. Just to put it out there, by the way, we are going to lose most of our games this season, but as long as we do enough to stay up, it's fine. And we have been pretty good in some of the other games that we've played. We just need to probably bring Be-All in and just cut out those early goals. Lack of concentration. Not shutting down at what was obviously going to be a long shot. Dan James with another good cross into the box, headed away though by a Steph, and now it's a throw into Leeds. Tanaka tries to cross one into the box. Calvert-Lewin just on the top of the goal there. Closest we've come in this second half, I think. Good cross there, but it's a bit similar to the one he scored against Wolves. He's done well to even get like that much of a effort on it. He won't though, Tim. We'll all say that, and then he won't start. It'll be Strauch again. And we've got West Ham on Friday, and then Brighton after that. Cleared away by Esteve. Now Rodon heads it back towards the halfway line. Florentino again just sending it long. Rodon's going to go for that second header. Offside there against Burnley. Cullen not accepting a hand up there by Rodon, and Rodon calling him a knobhead for it. I mean, what's the point lumping it long? Because it's not like scoring one goal is going to equalise. Longstaff tries to knock it towards the edge of the box. Here's Bogle. Piru's given away the ball there, and now kicking the ball away. Barnes should have got a yellow card there, even though it was the final whistle that went. That's it. Shocking. How do I pause it? Absolutely shocking. There'll be a match reaction after this, and then a match preview as well for the next one during the week. Excuse me. And yeah, crap, really crap. Check out the sponsor, everyone. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.